guys, welcome back. I got the parts ready in the spray booth. They're all wiped off and blown off. I just have to tack rag them. And then I'm going to put some epoxy primer as a sealer on first. Then I'm going to let that set for a good hour or so. I'm going to go eat dinner, come back, and we're going to put the color on, and then we are going to put the clear on. Now, the clear I've been using, we're not going to use that for the final paint job on the truck. Because he wanted a little bit of a flatter finish. So we're going to use this Sims Hot Rod Clear. We have 3 quarts of it, but with the reducer and hardener, it's going to make over a gallon. So we have plenty of clear. I've never used this before, so I don't really know how it's going to spray out. But from reading, I didn't realize this. The heavier you put on your satin finish clears, the shinier they become. If you put them on lighter, they stay duller, and I didn't know that. Also, one of my buddies painted a Chevy Nova with a matte finish clear, and he was telling me that it's really critical that after, I've always used a satin clear for arcade cabinets, so it doesn't matter as much, you know what I mean? It's an arcade cabinet, it's not a car that's going to be out in the sun. But what he recommended is he highly suggests that the first coat of clear go on and you let that fully dry. Like give it a good half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever it takes to be pretty much where you can touch it and it's almost dry, just maybe just a tiny bit of tackiness. And then he says, then you put on your next coat. And he says that you got to your second coat kind of needs to be in like a crisscross pattern rather than just lines across like you do on your first coat. He says that's going to help with the blotchiness. So I want to try that on these parts tonight and see, because I've been spraying this just like I would spray regular shiny clear, and obviously there's a different technique to this than that. I've never painted a whole car with it. I've painted hoods before, but never a whole car. So we're going to give his method a try. We're going to put the first coat of clear on tonight, let it set for half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever it takes, and then we'll do the second coat and kind of do like a cross pattern with it, and we'll see what it looks like when it dries. So this epoxy primer is mixing up right now. It's just about done. I'm going to go out there, run the tack cloth on everything, and then we'll go out and we'll put a coat of epoxy primer on everything, and then I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, the epoxy is going to dry now for an hour. Okay, now this is the gun I'm using. I really like this gun. It's sold on Amazon. It's an A610 for only $70 some. And this is a low volume, low pressure spray gun. So you got to know what you're spraying with, because stupid phone switched on me. Okay. You have to know what you're spraying with, and you have to be in the right pressures. So this is a low volume, low pressure. I am shooting at 30 psi. I checked twice when I was painting just to verify that it was still at 30 psi. But this gun works really good from 28 to 32 psi. And it lays down the product really nice. It has a really nice spray pattern. It atomizes really well. I'm using a 1-3 tip. This comes with a couple different size tips. But if you're using a low volume, low pressure gun and you're cranking it to 50 psi, you're gonna get a crappy ass paint job. Your paint's gonna atomize incorrectly, meaning you're gonna have paint forced through the gun at such a high pressure that it's just not gonna lay down good. You see all these people using 50, 60, 70 psi to paint with, and that's just not the way to do it. As you can tell, at 30 psi in the spray booth, there's very little overspray, and that's the whole purpose of this. Less overspray means less material wasted in the air. More of your material is going on your car than it is in the air. If you're shooting at 50, 60 psi, half of your material is getting blown away in the air, and it's just a big waste of money. And you really, honestly, you're not going to get any different results. You know what I mean? It's going to be better at a low pressure than if you go at a high pressure and waste half of your paint. So just keep that in mind. So, all right, guys, I'll be back in a little while. Okay, I'm going to apply the rest of the color off camera, and then we'll come back and do the first coat of clear, and we'll really let it dry and see what it looks like, and then we'll try that crisscross pattern on the second coat of clear. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I have clear mixed up parts. I just wiped them down. Let's get the first coat of clear on. I'm using a bigger cup, so hopefully I can make it around all the parts with one cup full. was a little bit light with the clear on the front side of the tailgate. So I'm going to mix up a little bit more for the next coat, try to completely fill this cup up. Now we're going to wait 20 to 30 minutes before the next coat. Been about 20 minutes and it's drying really, really nice actually. So it's not too blotchy right now. So we're going to do one more coat and we're going to kind of do a crisscross pattern and see what happens. I have the cup mixed up all the way to the top, so we should have enough in there to get one more coat on. So let me get set up here and we'll put the last coat of clear on. One more thing, I'm not running the heater tonight. I think it's 70 degrees in there still. So I'm not running the heater just to see if that makes any sort of a difference too. I'm just trying to get the best results I can on these parts, because after these parts, it's time to redo the whole truck in one shot. So just want to be prepared to do it as best as possible. Okay, I turned the heat on now just to dry them up a little bit, but not too bad. A little bit of blotchiness. I have to put it on a little bit heavier, I think, but not too far off. It's so strange spraying clear coat like that, but it definitely makes a difference. It's still drying, but it's definitely less blotchy than the hood that I did. So I think I'm going to be all right when I do the truck. But I might also put a third coat on too when I do the whole entire vehicle as one. So if I do a third coat, you know, that also might help as well. And I'll just kind of keep going over it until I think it looks, you know, like it's not blotchy anymore. So that is my goal, and I think it'll work out fine. It seems like it's drying pretty decent now. I think maybe not using heat while doing it also helps, because I think it slows down the drying process between the first coat and second coat. And I'm using a slow reducer, so hopefully that will help as well. And I don't know what reducer that this even comes with, this other stuff. I don't know that it says. It just has its own reducer and hardener. It doesn't give you, it doesn't tell you if it's a fast, a slow. And you know, like I said, I know nothing about this stuff, so it'll be interesting. Prep surface with 400 to 600 grit, and I plan on 600 grit wet sanding. And I am going to put a couple coats of gray on the whole entire vehicle, just to make sure that that all blends together as well. And then we'll probably, before I put down the gunmetal gray, I have a whole new gallon right here. Before I put that down, I'm going to put down some BBC 500, some clear base coat, after I get done 600 wet sanding it. And what that's going to do is any sanding scratches are going to get filled in with that clear coat, and then it's an inner coat clear is what it is. And then when that goes over top, it's going to sit on the panel rather than soaking into the sanding marks and possibly making the metallic look funny. You don't notice the metallic as much when you have a satin clear on the part. I'm just seeing here if it tells me anything about this. They want you to spray at, well, with an HVLP spray gun, they want you to spray at 40 to 45 psi. Trying to look here because everything is like in different languages. Doesn't say anything about the style of gun I'm using, but maybe I'll go up to 35 psi or something like that. I'll go a little bit on the higher side, but I'm definitely not going to 40 or 45, not with the gun I'm using. That's too much. And it recommends a 1.3 or a 1.4 tip. I'm going to use a 1.3 tip. Approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Allow flash time 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to let a half an hour go by. Spray second identical medium to wet coat, and allow an additional 10 minutes before baking for 30 minutes at 140 degrees, or air dry for 16 hours. Baking may affect gloss level, so I don't know if that means on this stuff, you know, so if I bake it for 30 minutes at 140, is it going to be even duller? I don't know. I might just let it naturally dry, but we'll see what it looks like. I have no idea yet. Hopefully this is a little bit easier to work with than the Summit stuff. So, all right, well, that's going to end this video, guys. I do have a little series of videos coming out that I'm going to do. I am getting ready to do that next bay in the shop, in the back shop here. Getting ready to pour concrete in 2 rooms, build some walls, and get that area set up for reassembly of vehicles. I'm still going to do my wet sanding and buffing over here, but I'm going to do my putting the vehicles together in that bay over there. And I'm going to get, I just bought a balancing machine. I made a video of it a couple months ago, and I'm going to buy a brand new tire machine, a sandblasting cabinet, and a few other things. Well, I want to have more air over here. I have a copper air line going into the back building over here. I have a 60-gallon air compressor tank in my shed. I'm going to be bringing that in the shop. I ordered all the steel today. I'm going to make that air compressor look like an old style gas pump. So I'm going to take 16 gauge plate steel and I'm going to weld it into a rectangular square box. Actually, it's going to be like a square box. Those gas pumps are a little bit more of a rectangular shape. But I ordered a globe for it and everything, and the decals and all that stuff. So I think it's going to look pretty cool. So I'm going to do a couple videos on building that thing. And I'm going to do a St. Clair gas pump. It's going to be green and white. Same thing with the globe. It's going to be a green and white globe. And I just think it'll look cool because I'm going to have it sitting out. And I have a bunch of old signs and stuff I'm going to be hanging up in there, some neons. So all kinds of stuff are going to be on the walls and everything in there. It's going to look pretty cool. So I'll definitely do some videos when I start working on that as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Please hit the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you guys later.